Inflation is a sustained increase in the general level of prices that makes the things more expensive. Okay. When inflation occurs, purchasing power of your money goes down because you buy less for the same amount of money. Good example, gasoline. Easy to tell. With gasoline, you know, as the price for each gallon of gas goes up, it takes you more money to fill up your tank. So if you left your dollar fixed and didn't change the tank, you'd be getting less gas for the same dollars as you did, you know, a month ago, a year ago. That's that purchasing power thing that they're talking about. The gasoline is the one that's the easiest to tell. Okay. Inflation is measured by looking, up prices of 300 goods. There's a government entity that does this, and services that most people get, that most people use during a year. This is called market basket. Okay, it's called the market basket because these are the general things that everybody needs to have, everybody uses, everybody gets it, right? Those. So they look at these 300 things that they know just about everybody needs to have and sees what's going on with those. That's the market basket. Okay. Now, things about the market basket. It can include things like clothes, groceries, electronics, haircuts, goods and services, medical expenses, education, and things like that. Okay, those are the kind of things that are going to be in that market basket. Okay. So this price data is called the Consumer Price Index. And they do CPI to it because they like to shorten things. Okay, that's the Consumer Price Index. This information is compared to previous periods of time to see if it No, that's not previous, that's previous. Let me fix it. Previous periods of time to see if it is going up or down. Yes, there are times when we have the stuff going down, sometimes when we have it going up. Okay. And by how much? Okay. So they're looking at this list and they're seeing how it fluctuates. And there are different times of the year, and some things fluctuate here and some things fluctuate there. Okay. So life comes in cycles. So there are going to be times when things come up and things go down. And okay. Um, that kind of thing. So that's why they say they watch the ups, they watch the downs, and they watch to see how much is changing by. Okay. Inflation reduces the value of your money, of our money. Some companies give employees cost of living increases to their pay to help offset this decrease in purchasing power created by inflation. Okay. Questions so far? Okay. Do you guys know how to do a copy? Okay. Big thought. Having, let me put this in, yeah. Having some assets that rise in value faster than inflation helps protect against inflation. But it's not good to have all your assets in these types of investments because they can be risky. And sometimes are hard to access in an emergency. Okay, and when we get to the investment chapter, we're going to be talking about what kind of assets those are. Okay. Okay, any questions about inflation? Because we're going to talk about globalization too, because that's what your project that you're going to be doing in a minute is about. So I'm giving myself another space. And then I'm putting a bullet for that one. Move down. Let's see how I can do it. I think I can go like this and then go back and put a space, right? Perfect. Because we're going to talk about globalization. And you kind of got touched on it yesterday with the activity you did, globalization, when we are now looking at that in the past, communities only purchased within their community, goods and services were created and bought, and everybody, the small time mom and pop stores and all that, right? And so we were very protected. But over time, it's spread out. And now, for the sake of some of the companies being able to make ends meet and things like that, they're having to take some of what they're doing, to foreign countries and stuff. That's what you worked on yesterday. So you're going to be working on it a little bit more today. Same kind of concept, that idea that there are local versions and there are global versions of the same product now. No longer is it only a local made product. So globalization is about that. Okay. Globalization is we live in a global economy. No longer are we just small towns. No longer are we just little cities or little states, where economics of other countries interact and depend on each other. So when something happens in, Europe, something big happens there financially, it can ripple into the US because the US people have some of their holdings over there and some of them have holdings here, and we're interconnected. Okay, global. The other thing about globalization is cheaper materials and wages made companies move production to other countries. Because unfortunately, Americans have a really high estimation of themselves, high estimation of their own worth, and expect a lot of money. And part of it is the country we live in is expensive to live in, right? So we need money to offset that purchasing power thing. But at the same time, it makes the products more expensive when, so it's like this domino effect thing. Okay, that is the end of notes. So please turn in those notes. So it's like a catch-22. The company takes the jobs out of our country, but then we have Americans that no longer have jobs. But if they had stayed here, they would have had to charge so much for their product that then they couldn't sell it, or very few people could buy it. So it's that hard fine line thing. So turn in the notes. Remember, you're going to have to attach your own copy. Sorry, I didn't pick everybody gets a copy. It's not a big deal. Okay, turn in the notes.